Hi, welcome to Yob English Club. Today I want to talk about something that can truly transform the way you learn English. I want to help you speak English more easily. Have you ever felt like speaking English is too hard? Maybe you know many words but can't use them in a conversation. Maybe you try to speak but stop because you don't know the right words. Or maybe you are afraid of making mistakes. If you feel this way, you are not alone. Many people have the same problem. But here is the good news. You can get better, and it doesn't take years. The secret is simple. You don't need to learn thousands of words or difficult grammar rules. You just need to make small but smart changes in how you practice. Today I will share these simple changes with you. I advise you to watch them carefully until the end. These changes will really transform the way you learn English. Enjoy. Chapter 1. The beginning of your journey. Have you tried to speak English but felt lost? Maybe you want to say something but your mind goes blank. Maybe you start speaking but it doesn't sound natural. Or maybe you hesitate too much, and the conversation moves on before you can finish. Don't worry, this is completely normal. Many people feel nervous when they try to speak English. But don't worry, you can get better, and it will not take years. With the right practice, you can start speaking more easily and with more confidence. Before we talk about how to improve, let's think about this. What does it mean to be good at speaking English? Some people believe that fluent speakers know every word, use perfect grammar, and never make mistakes. But that is not true. Even native speakers make mistakes. The biggest difference between fluent speakers and beginners is one thing. Yes, just one thing. This thing is confidence. Confident speakers don't stop when they forget a word. They find another way to say what they mean. They don't feel bad if they make a mistake. Instead, they keep talking. That is the secret. They don't stop. Think about how babies learn to walk. They don't wait until they know everything about walking before they try. They take small steps, fall down, and try again. Speaking English is the same. Imagine this. You are having a conversation in English and the words come easily. You are not thinking about grammar rules. You are not translating in your head. You are just speaking naturally. This is fluency and you can achieve it. The first step is to build your confidence. Before you can speak fluently, you need to feel comfortable speaking. If you don't have confidence, you will hesitate. You will feel nervous about making mistakes. But here's the truth. Confidence is something you build, not something you are born with. Even native English speakers were not born speaking English. They learned, made mistakes, and improved over time. You can do the same. Why confidence matters. When you feel confident, you speak more instead of staying silent. You stop overthinking and let the words come naturally. You learn faster because you are not afraid of making mistakes. Every time you speak, you are not only improving your English but also growing your confidence. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." This is especially true when learning English. The more you practice, the more confident you become. And the more confident you become, the easier it gets to speak. A small challenge for you. I have a simple challenge for you. For the next 7 days, try this. Speak English for 5 minutes every day, even if it's just to yourself. Record yourself talking about your day, your hobbies, or your plans. If you don't know a word, try to explain it in a different way instead of stopping. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to start speaking and feel more confident. Remember, fluency is not about knowing every word, it's about using the words you already know with ease. What's next? Now that you understand why confidence is important for fluency, it's time to learn how to practice speaking the right way. In the next chapter, we will talk about active listening, a simple technique that will help you improve your speaking skills much faster. Chapter 2. Why listening helps you speak better. Many people think that to speak English well, they just need to talk more. But here's a secret. Before you can speak well, you need to listen well. Think about how babies learn to talk. They don't start speaking immediately. First, they listen to their parents and the people around them. They hear words, sentences, and how people express their ideas. After months of listening, they start trying to say words. The same thing happens when you learn English. The more you listen, the more you understand how native speakers make sentences, how they say words, and how they express themselves. Good listening skills make speaking much easier. It's like learning the pieces of a puzzle before putting them together. Many English learners only listen passively. They play English music, watch movies, or listen to podcasts, but they don't focus. They hope that hearing English will automatically help them speak better. But here's the truth. Just hearing English is not enough. If you want to improve your speaking, you need to practice active listening. What is active listening? Active listening means paying close attention to what you hear. Instead of just hearing words, you focus on them, think about them, and learn how to use them. For example, when you listen to a podcast, a conversation, or a YouTube video, pay attention to check mark how the speaker makes sentences. Are they short? Are they long? How they pronounce words. Which words do they say clearly? Which words do they say fast? How they express emotions. Do they sound happy, excited, serious? By noticing these small things, you will speak English in a more natural way. A simple exercise to improve listening. Try this easy exercise to get better at listening. 1. Choose a short audio clip, a podcast, an interview, or a YouTube video. 2. Listen to one sentence carefully. 3. Pause after each sentence. Repeat what you heard out loud. Compare your pronunciation with the speakers. 6. Listen again and repeat until it sounds more natural. This exercise helps your brain remember the natural sound of English. One of the best ways to practice active listening is through shadowing. Shadowing is when you listen to someone speaking English and repeat their words immediately, almost like being their shadow. This method helps improve your listening, pronunciation, and speaking at the same time. How to practice. Shadowing 1. Pick a podcast or short story. Choose something simple and not too fast. 2. Listen carefully. Pay attention to the speaker's pronunciation and tone. 3. Repeat immediately. Try to copy the speaker's speed and intonation as closely as possible. Why shadowing works. Shadowing helps you Check Train your ears to understand natural English speech, improve pronunciation, and speak more fluently. Gain confidence in speaking without hesitation. One of my students, Camelia, felt very nervous about speaking English. She was scared of making mistakes, so she almost never spoke. I introduced her to shadowing, and it made a big difference. She started by repeating sentences from podcasts. She began by listening to short sentences from podcasts and repeating them. At first, it was hard, a few weeks. She noticed a big improvement. Her sentences started to flow naturally, and she became more confident. Soon, she was speaking without fear. Here's a powerful quote by Stephen R. Covey. Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Shadowing and active listening train your brain to truly understand English. And when you understand, speaking becomes much easier. A fun listening challenge. Try this. Watch a short English video, 2 to 3 minutes long. Listen once without subtitles to test your understanding. Watch again with subtitles and write down any new words. Explain the main idea in your own words. Remember, you don't need to understand every word. The goal is to train your brain to focus on English naturally. What's next? Now that you have learned how to listen carefully, it's time to discover another simple but effective method: repetition. Chapter 3. How repetition helps you speak easily. If you want to speak English smoothly, you need to train your brain to use English without struggling. Think about how you learned your first language as a child. You didn't study grammar books or memorize long word lists. Instead, you heard the same words and sentences many times. Because of this, you naturally started speaking. Repetition is how your brain remembers and learns words. The more you say something, the easier it becomes to use it without thinking. For example, if someone asks, "What's your name?" you don't stop to think about the right words. You immediately say, "My name is James." Why? Because you have heard and repeated this sentence so many times that it feels automatic. Now imagine if all of your English sentences felt that natural. Repetition is the key to making that happen. Speaking fluently means speaking easily. Many people think that speaking fluently means knowing lots of words, but that's not true. Fluency is about speaking smoothly and quickly, not just having a big vocabulary. Imagine you know the word delicious. If it takes you a few seconds to remember it when talking about food, your conversation will feel slow and unnatural. But if you say the word often, it will come instantly when you need it, just like a native speaker. This is why repetition is the key. Repeating words and phrases again and again helps your brain remember them faster. Now, after knowing the importance of repetition, let's see how to use it to improve your English. 1. Practice common phrases. Every day, choose 5 simple sentences that people use a lot and say them with a clearly voice every day. For example, "Nice to meet you." "How was your day?" "What do you think?" "Let me think about it." "Could you say that again?" "I really appreciate it." Say each phrase 5 times in the morning and 5 times in the evening. At first, it might feel repetitive, but after a few days, you will see a big change. These phrases will come out naturally when you speak. 2. Use the mirror method. A great way to build confidence and improve your speaking is by using the mirror method. It's simple and fun. Stand in front of a mirror. Pick a short sentence like, "Today was a busy day." Say it 5 times while looking at yourself. Try different speeds and emotions. Say it happily, seriously, or like you are talking about a secret. This method helps you feel more comfortable speaking English, improves your pronunciation, and even makes your body language more natural. 3. Add shadowing to repetition. In Chapter 2, we talked about shadowing, where you listen and repeat what a speaker says right away. Now, let's add repetition to make it even better. 1. Choose a short audio clip from a podcast, movie, or YouTube video. 2. Shadow the speaker. Repeat right after them. 3. Pause the audio and say the sentences again on your own. 4. Repeat the sentences a few times until they feel natural. The more you repeat, the more your brain remembers. Now, let's see another method. 4. Speak by recording yourself. Recording yourself is a great way to see your progress and improve your speaking skills. Pick a short sentence or paragraph from a book, website, or podcast. Read it out loud and record yourself. Listen to your recording and repeat the sentences. Compare your pronunciation with the original speaker. At first, you might hear mistakes, and that's okay. The more you practice, the better and more natural you'll sound. Why repetition helps you remember. Scientists have studied how the brain learns. They discovered that we forget 50% of what we learn within an hour if we don't review it. But when we repeat something over and over across several days, it moves into our long-term memory. This means that if repeat English words and sentences, you will not forget them. You will remember them forever. Let me tell you about one of my students, Michael. He had a hard time speaking smoothly. He knew many words, but when he tried to talk, he hesitated and took too long to find the right words. I told him to try repetition. Every day he picked 5 common phrases and said them 5 times each. He also practiced shadowing and recorded himself speaking. At first it felt uncomfortable, but after 2 weeks something changed. Michael stopped hesitating. He could speak naturally and smoothly. He didn't just study English, he trained his brain to use it without thinking. And you can do the same. I have something for you, a simple 7-day repetition challenge for you. If you want to boost your fluency in just 1 week, try this challenge. Day 1. Choose 5 simple phrases and say them 5 times each. Day 2. Watch a short video and shadow 5 sentences. Day 3. Use the mirror technique to repeat sentences with confidence. Day 4. Record yourself speaking and listen to your progress. Day 5. Pick 5 more phrases and repeat them throughout the day. Day 6. Shadow a short audio clip and repeat the sentences by yourself. Day 7. Speak English for 5 minutes non-stop, even if you make mistakes. By the end of the week, you will speak faster, feel more confident, and think in English more naturally. Why repetition works. It helps you remember words and sentences easily. It makes speaking faster and more natural. It trains your brain to think in English instead of translating. The more you repeat and practice, the closer you get to fluency. What's next? Now that you know how to use repetition, let's make learning fun and exciting. In the next chapter, you will discover creative and enjoyable ways to practice English, so you stay motivated and never feel bored. Chapter 4. Learning English should be fun. Speaking English should not feel like a chore. It should be exciting. The best way to improve quickly is to enjoy the process. When learning is fun, you practice more. When you practice more, you get better faster. Imagine this. Instead of forcing yourself to study, you can't wait to practice English. You feel excited to speak, and every moment is enjoyable. It's not about memorizing boring grammar rules, repeating long lists of words. It's about having fun, learning naturally, like a child. But how can you make practicing English fun? The secret is to turn practice into something you love. In this chapter, I will show you creative, exciting, and enjoyable ways to practice speaking English. 1. Act out real conversations. One fun way to practice speaking English is role-playing. This means imagining you are in a real-life situation and speaking English as if you were there. Think about situations where you might need to speak English. For example, ordering food at a restaurant, asking for directions in a new place, having a job interview, meeting a new friend. By acting out these situations, you practice real conversations in a stress-free and fun way. How to start role-playing. Step 1. Choose a situation. Think of a situation where you might need to speak English. For example, buying something in a store, checking into a hotel, introducing yourself at a party. Step 2. Create a dialogue. Make a short list of sentences you might say in that situation. If you are ordering food, you could say, "Hi, I had like a coffee, please. Can I see the menu? Do you have any vegetarian options?" Step 3. Act it out. Pretend you are really in that situation and speak out loud. If you have a partner, take turns playing different roles. If you are alone, speak in front of a mirror or record yourself. Why role-playing helps you improve. You practice real conversations. You feel less nervous when speaking English. It makes learning feel like acting, not studying. One of my students, Mary, did not enjoy practicing English alone. I showed her the role-playing. Suddenly, English practice became interesting. She pretended to travel to different places, meet new people, and order food at restaurants. She was learning English without feeling like she was studying. 2. Talk about what you love. A great way to enjoy speaking English is to talk about things you like. Think about your favorite hobby, game, movie, or book. When you talk about something that give a lot of fun for you, words come easily, and you feel happy to keep speaking. For example, if you love cooking, say your favorite recipe in English. If you love football, talk about a match you watched. If you love movies, tell the story of a movie you enjoy. The secret is to choose a topic you like, so speaking English feels easy and fun. I remember a great quote Albert Einstein once said, "Being creative is using your brain in a fun way." When you have fun while learning, you remember more and speak better. 3. Play fun. Speaking games, dice microphone. Who says learning English must be serious? Turn English into a game. You can practice alone or with a friend. Here are some fun speaking games to try. Game 1, 20 questions. One person thinks of a word, like a car, a banana, a dog. The other person asks yes/no questions to guess it. Game 2. Charades write English words or phrases on paper. Pick one and act it out without speaking. The other person guesses the word. Game 3. Speaking challenge. Set a timer for 1 minute. Choose any topic, like my favorite clothes. Speak for 1 full minute without stopping. These games help you learn faster because you think faster in English. You feel less nervous when speaking, and you want to keep practicing because it's fun. 4. Listen to podcasts and stories. Listening to English podcasts and stories helps you learn naturally. It also gives you fun topics to talk about. How to use podcasts for speaking practice. Pick a podcast on a topic you love, like travel, sports, technology. Listen without subtitles first. Listen again with subtitles and write down new words. Summarize the episode in your own words. One of my students, Tom, struggled with motivation, but when he started listening to podcasts about topics he loved, speaking became easier. He listened, then explained what he learned to himself or his friends. 5. Change your environment. Sometimes a new place makes speaking practice more exciting. Instead of sitting at a desk, practice in different places. Practicing in real-world places makes English feel natural. 6. Celebrate your progress. Every small win matters. Celebrate it. A famous quote by B.F. Skinner says, "A person who feels appreciated will always do more than expected." This applies to you too. The more you appreciate your progress, the more motivated you will be. What's next? Now that you know how to enjoy practicing English, you might still have moments when you feel blocked or frustrated. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to overcome speaking blocks so you can keep improving, even when it feels difficult. Chapter 5. What to do when you feel blocked. So far, we have learned fun ways to practice English: role-playing, speaking games, listening to podcasts. But what if you still feel blocked? Sometimes, even if you practice a lot, the words just don't come out. You hesitate. You overthink. You feel scared of making mistakes. These speaking blocks are completely normal. Every English learner goes through this at some point. The most important thing is to learn how to overcome these challenges so you can keep improving your English. The good news? There are easy techniques that can help you break through these barriers and speak with more confidence. Step 1. Mistakes help you learn. One big reason people feel stuck is because they are afraid of making mistakes. But here's something you might not know. Even native speakers make mistakes. The difference is they don't stop speaking just because they made a mistake. Instead, they keep going. And that's exactly what you should do. Every mistake is a chance to learn. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Over time, your mistakes will happen less and less. Think about it this way. Babies do not wait until they can walk perfectly before trying. They just keep standing up, falling down, and trying again. Learning to speak English is the same. The more you practice, the better you become. There is a famous quote by Henry Ford. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Every mistake teaches you something new. So instead of seeing mistakes as bad, think of them as small steps toward fluency. 1. Overcome the fear of mistakes. Imagine you are talking to someone, and suddenly you forget a word or say something incorrectly. What should you do? Most people stop talking or feel embarrassed, but here is what you should do instead. Keep speaking. Do not stop the conversation just because of a mistake. If you forget a word, try to describe it. For example, if you forget the word refrigerator, you can say the cold box where we keep food. Use hand movements. Gestures can help explain what you mean. The most important thing is to keep talking, even if your sentence is not perfect. One of my students, Ali, was very scared of making mistakes. Every time he tried to speak, he would stop because he was afraid of saying the wrong thing. I told him, mistakes are not bad. They help you learn. So we started practicing easy conversations, and I told him to keep speaking even if he was unsure of the right words. At first he still hesitated, but after a few weeks he spoke more freely. His mistakes did not bother him anymore. The more he spoke, the more confident he became. Soon speaking English felt much easier for him. 2. Use self-talk to break through blocks. If you do not have a speaking partner, self-talk is one of the best ways to practice speaking English. What is self-talk? Self-talk is speaking English out loud to yourself, like having a conversation. You can do this while walking, cooking, or getting ready for bed. You can talk about your day or describe what you see around you. You can ask yourself questions and answer them in English. How to practice self-talk. Describe your day. Talk about what you did today or what you plan to do tomorrow. 3. Use shadowing to push through blocks. We talked about shadowing before, but it is such a helpful technique that it is good to repeat. How to use shadowing. Start with short, simple sentences. Repeat them immediately after the speaker. Slowly move to longer sentences and conversations. Shadowing helps your brain get used to English. Over time, it helps you break through speaking blocks, and you feel more confident in speaking. Practice real-life conversations. Another great way to break through speaking blocks is practicing real-life conversations. Think about situations that make you nervous, like giving directions, having a job interview, or talking about a difficult topic. How to practice. Choose a situation like explaining your opinion. Write down some words and phrases you might use. Act out the conversation alone or with a friend. The more you practice these conversations, the more confident you will feel when they happen in real life. 5. Stay positive and keep going. Breaking through speaking blocks requires a positive mindset. It is easy to feel frustrated when things do not go well. But remember, progress is more important than perfection. Celebrate small successes like finishing a conversation or learning a new word. Stay patient. Fluency takes time. Focus on progress, not mistakes. A motivational quote Walt Disney once said, "The difference between winning and losing is most often not quitting. If you keep practicing, even when it feels hard, you will improve and become a more confident speaker." 6. Speak in real-life situations. One final way to break through speaking blocks is to use English in real-life situations. Go to cafes, markets, or online language exchange websites where you can practice English with real people. If you do not know any native speakers, join online language exchange programs. The more you practice in real-world settings, the easier it will be to speak naturally. Breaking through speaking blocks doesn't mean never making mistakes. It means not giving up when things feel difficult. With techniques like self-talk, shadowing, role-playing, and staying positive, you can overcome fear and become a more confident English speaker. What's next? Now that you know how to overcome speaking blocks, it's time to improve your fluency even more. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to find speaking partners. You will learn how to meet people who can help you practice and improve your English faster. Chapter 6. Finding Speaking Partners. Why speaking partners are important. So far, you have learned how to break through speaking blocks using techniques like self-talk, shadowing, and role-playing. These help you practice alone, but if you want to improve faster, you need to speak with real people. Talking with others makes English feel more natural. It helps you respond quickly and gives you confidence in real conversations. But what if no one around you speaks English? Don't worry. There are many ways to find speaking partners, both online and offline. How to find a speaking partner. Online. The internet makes it easy to find English-speaking partners from anywhere in the world. Many websites and apps help learners connect and practice together. Best places to find speaking partners. Tandem connects language learners worldwide for text, audio, and video chats. Hello Talk, a social network where you can chat with native speakers and exchange languages. Italki offers both free conversation partners and professional English teachers. Speaky, a free platform where learners meet to practice English. Reddit, a forum where people arrange language exchange sessions. Facebook groups. Many language learning groups connect people for English practice. The power of consistency. The best way to improve your English speaking skills is to practice every day. Even a few minutes of speaking practice can help. Make speaking English a daily habit, like brushing your teeth or exercising. The more you use English in your daily life, the faster you will improve. Even 15 minutes a day can make a big difference in your fluency. Final words. You can become a confident English speaker. Congratulations! You have now learned some of the best techniques to speak English fluently and confidently. Let's review what you have learned. Building confidence. Speaking fluently is not about being perfect. It's about feeling comfortable. Making practice fun. Use role-playing, games, and storytelling to enjoy learning English. Breaking speaking barriers. Overcome hesitation with self-talk, shadowing, and positive thinking. Finding speaking partners. Connect with people online or in real life to practice naturally. Learning to speak English is a journey. Every small step brings you closer to success. A final motivational quote. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. Mark Twain. The more you speak, practice, and surround yourself with English, the faster you will reach your fluency goals. What's next? If this guide was helpful, Keep practicing and trying new ways to improve your English. If you haven't already, subscribe to Yob English Club for more fun and educational content. Thank you for learning with me. If you liked this guide, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are also learning English.
Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe for more videos.